Is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself 4 minutes.
Gentlelady is recognized.
I want to begin by thanking Ranking Member Cuellar for his work on this bill. He is a tough negotiator, and this bill is better for his efforts. I also want to say a thank you to the committee staff, in particular Shannon McCulley, Jamie Wise, and Jim Ellsworth. They spent many long hours, a lot of sleepless nights fighting to make this bill as good as it could be. The Homeland Security funding bill before us today has gotten a lot of attention over the past few days, and rightfully so. It deals with funding ICE, an agency that has shown itself to be lawless, vindictive, aggressive, cruel, and thus far unaccountable, both to Congress and the American people. That is not all that the Homeland Bill deals with, however, and before I return to the topic of ICE and its funding, I want to share some of what else is contained in this bill. This bill rejects President Trump and Secretary Noem's attempt to eliminate FEMA, increasing funding for the agency by over $870 million, in addition to providing more than $26 billion for the Disaster Relief Fund. It increases funding for TSA by $149 million and provides a pay raise for air traffic controllers and uniformed members of the United States Coast Guard. This is important funding, and I am glad that these provisions, which we fought for, were included in the bill. The final product, though, far from perfect, is better because of it. Despite these inclusions and others, it is impossible to ignore the impact that ICE's conduct had on completing this bill. ICE has operated with brutality, terrorizing our constituents, abducting our neighbors, and violently assaulting lawful residents who have done nothing but had the misfortune of crossing ICE's path on their way home from work. Unfortunately, this month, we saw how this unchecked lawlessness can have fatal consequences with the killing of Renee Nicole Good. This is a rogue agency. Substantial constraints must be placed on it. During negotiations, we proposed such constraints, but our Republican colleagues refused to include almost all of them. We sought to prevent any funds from being used to detain or deport U.S. citizens. Common sense. They refused to commit to that. We proposed prohibiting interior enforcement by non-ICE personnel, like the Border Patrol. That was rejected as well. We put forward a provision to ensure members of Congress can continue to conduct our lawful oversight of all ICE facilities uninhibited. That, too, was deemed unacceptable. Democrats did win some battles in this bill, however. Under this bill, we reduce ICE's enforcement and removal operations budget by $115 million. We reduce their detention capacity, providing funding that can only be used for body-worn cameras, and increase funding for the Office of the Inspector General, specifically for oversight of ICE detention facilities. These are good provisions, and I am glad they are in this bill. But it's clear that more must be done. ICE believes it can act with impunity and is behaving accordingly. I trust that my colleagues have taken the time to review what is contained in this bill and have determined for themselves what is best for their constituents and their communities. I have made my own determination, and that determination leads me to a no vote on this bill. Thank you, and I reserve the balance of